We got a chance to meet this man in Perth, and now he is getting ready to prepare his fighter to defend the middleweight title of the world. The one and only Coach Morne Visser takes some time out of his crazy schedule to join me here today to tell me what is next for the champ. Morne, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thanks, guys. I saw you guys the last time in Perth.
That's right. That's right.
Nice
Me and Casper. Me and Casper spoke to you in Perth. Really appreciated your time. And I appreciate your time yet again, man. So what's it been like since you've come back to South Africa from Perth? What's life been like for you? I imagine it's been incredibly busy.
It's a tough one because life for me was just simple. I had to carry on working, but obviously for Dricus, it was a different story. Big publicity, and it was all over the show. Actually still is. Still working on keeping everybody happy. But on my side, I had to get back into it immediately. I've just had guys fighting now in Japan last weekend and in the UAE last weekend, and I've got another guy fighting this weekend in Thailand. So I had to get back to work and then obviously back to coaching. So, and I really try hard to stay out of the media and out of the flashiness of all the sport. I try to keep it simple.
Yeah, because people don't realize this, but you work full time. Is that right? You do something in the automotive industry?
Yeah. I'm busy all day long with other stuff as well. So yeah, the MMA is actually more of a hobby that's but a very serious hobby. I think my biggest problem is I'm like a badass loser. So I think that's why I'm really a badass loser. I think that's I'll do anything not I can't take it on the jaw. Really, so it's I'm putting a lot of effort into whatever I do.
By badass loser, what do you mean? Like, what kind of stuff have you done in the past? Or what does that come out as?
No, man. So firstly, my son raced motocross for a while, and I'll make it a quick story. The first day he actually wanted to race, and I said to him, so the first day he got lapped by the last guy twice, and I said to him, no, my son, this is not for us, sir. This is way out of our league. And he asked me nicely, please, Dad, this is what I want to do. And then I said to him, you know me, there's no second place. I'm going to go for the kill, but that's going to cost a lot of commitment from you. So I got him to race, and within 2 years, he was the South African national champion on primary school, big 85 small with 85 big wheel, 1 to 5 high school. He was a champion on a 1 to 5 in the 250 class. So I just can't take a lose. That's it. I mean, it's the same with the MMA. I've always only been chasing gold, and so I'm a bad loser, man. A bad loser.
Hey, that's interesting, man. So you create champions in all sorts of sports. What do you think is the biggest key that people miss in trying to be successful in anything that you're able to sort of bring out in your son, Dricus, and some of your fighters?
So I'm going to maybe teach the world a bit of a lesson here. It's an interesting question, but God gave me 10 fingers and 1 dick. And that you've got to... No, listen to me. You're laughing now, but if you've got this as a work ethic, you'll always be successful. God gave me 10 fingers, 1 dick. You've got to work 10 times and play once. So that's what I try to do.
I love it. We're going to put that on a t-shirt. Let's talk about Dricus, man, because obviously he's the champ of the world. I got to ask you, obviously Sean Strickland is saying he's the next one in line. When you spoke to me and Casper in Perth, you said maybe it's a rematch with Israel. And obviously Robert Whittaker is fighting Khamzat soon at UFC 308. He said he's the next in line. Who is the next in line for Dricus? Is it definitely Sean Strickland?
So we obviously speak to our agent, Danny, from Ruby, and he speaks to the UFC, and we've been up and down. And I had a conversation actually yesterday with Dricus in depth, and I said to him, there's only one thing for certain at this stage. Only one thing, and that's that we've got to be ready to fight in Sydney in Feb. My opinion is Sean's overselling it. He's, I mean, he's just had one win after Dricus. That was against Costa. Whittaker had 2, and I think he's going to go for number 3 now. So I think my honest opinion is that next for us in line will be Whittaker in Sydney in February. I think he's going to beat Khamzat, and I honestly think that they're going to give him the shot. I mean, why would you fly Strickland? He will never be a better favor than Sean. Sean against Robert in Australia doesn't even make sense. I think the UFC is waiting for who's going to win between Rob and Khamzat, and that's our next opponent. I don't necessarily say the winner. If Khamzat wins, I think we're going to fight Strickland, and then Khamzat maybe later. But I honestly think, even if you think about it, that there's even a slight possibility that if Khamzat beats Rob, that Dricus has fought and beaten Sean and Rob. So if Khamzat beats Rob, I think they're going to play their cards a little bit different, and we're going to fight Khamzat later. But so far, the only thing that's confirmed is we will be fighting in February in Sydney.
Really? So you guys are going to head back to Australia. How do you feel about that, man?
Listen, I think Australia is the closest to home for us, like in the culture and the people. And they loved us there the previous time, and I think it's going to be the exact same thing now. And then obviously, like I say, it doesn't make sense to have Sean there when they've got their own Rob. So my opinion is it's going to be us and Rob, rematch in Sydney if he wins, and I think he's got a big chance to win.
Take me into, why do you feel like Rob's winning this fight? Obviously, he's an incredible fighter, but I'd love to hear why you believe he's beating Khamzat. So
Rob's a fast learner. He learns out of his mistakes. He's dead honest to himself. So, and that's very, very important in this sport. If you bullshit yourself, you're in big, big shit. So even with Dricus, I mean, you guys haven't seen the Dricus that I coaches. So people are really, really in shit the day when that Dricus rocks up at a fight, in a fight night. So, and the same thing goes for Rob. I think that Khamzat as, that fight against Usman, who's a genuine welterweight, was way too close for me. And his stand-up is, my opinion, suspect. His wrestling, he couldn't do anything with Usman. So, and Rob's stand-up's phenomenal. His wrestling and his groundwork's awesome. So I don't think that. I honestly think Khamzat's out of his league. He's got to go back to welter, where maybe stands his chance to become something or become a champion. At this stage, I honestly think it's a Rob beats Khamzat, and I don't think it's going to be on points. He's going to grind him. Rob's a tough dude, and he's smart, and he's got a smart team behind him.
Yeah, Rob's an incredible fighter, and obviously you have a lot of respect for him, and you mentioned he's a fast learner. How do you think that rematch goes between Dricus and Rob? Are you anticipating him to fill in some of the gaps that he might have had in the first time when he fought Dricus? He mentioned that he might have not been 100% in that fight to us.
So, maybe, or definitely he'll obviously fill in the gaps, build his own puzzle around what he's going to do. But like I said earlier, that you haven't seen the Dricus that I coach. So the Dricus that I coach is a scary, scary dude. If he stays composed, well, he doesn't need to. He finishes everybody in any case. He beats them. But if he stays composed, you're going to say, wow, we've never, ever seen anything like this. And I don't need to do a lot of adjustments to get Dricus to beat Rob again. I just need Dricus to focus a little bit more on being calm and collective. So you guys haven't seen anything of Dricus yet, not anything. So, and with us coming so far, becoming the champion with maybe of what I coach, a 5 out of 10, maybe a 6 out of 10 of the real Dricus. I mean, I had 2 guys fighting. I had a guy fighting last weekend in Japan. That's what I coach. Killers. I had a guy fighting last weekend in Abu Dhabi. Same story. They had phenomenal fights. Very technical. Very beautiful to watch. Absolutely beautiful to watch. And I've got another guy fighting this weekend at 1 in Thailand. Also, same story. If you watch those fights, Dricus has got one problem. Sometimes he's hard, just takes over, and he just wants to go for that kill. And you in shit if that guy comes for you. You've seen it all the time, every time. But if I can get that head to beat the heart in a MMA match, you're going to see a complete different person. So I'm not worried about taking anybody on. Rob, the results will be the same.
Do you want to see Sean Strickland rematch Israel if that's the case, and then the winner maybe fights Dricus afterwards?
So, like I said to you guys, I think that we will fight Izzy, and Dana's talking about it. I think that the rematch that will be given to Izzy will be against Dricus, which makes the most sense. 2 Africans in South Africa. So I honestly think that we're going to get the rematch against Izzy sometime next year in 2025. And then also, you guys saw the Izzy that came out fighting for Dricus, and you saw the Izzy that went to fight Sean. I mean, the Izzy that faced Dricus, or came out to fight Dricus, Sean's got no chance against that Izzy, man. That guy is he was the best version of Izzy I've ever seen. So if the UFC gives him the rematch, awesome. But I think that Izzy shouldn't waste his time with shit like that. I think we all saw he's a lot superior fighter with this Dricus fight.
I got to ask where Alex Pereira fits into all this, right? Because we saw that he mentioned he's not moving back down to middleweight. He wants to fight at 205. And you told us you're happy to fight Alex at 205, right? Like you were going to get this next fight done and then potentially fight Alex in the near future. Is that still the plan? Like ideally, when would you like to fight Alex if he gets past Khalil Roundtree this weekend?
So that was 100% discussion point at the Perth event, that same night that Dricus beat Izzy. So Hunter came and he spoke to Dricus and he asked, will you fight Alec? And I said, wow. Dricus came, I said, absolutely, we'll fight him. And then they said, what about we fight him at, I said, no, we don't want to fight him at middle. We want to fight him in his weight division. I mean, it's everyone's dream to be a double champion. And I don't want him to have an excuse saying that, I mean, we saw with the weight cut's big for that guy. He's a big guy. He's a genuine light heavy. So we want to beat a genuine light heavy at light heavyweight. So I think that you've got to also always understand, everybody knows this, that we are only employees of the UFC. And you've got to do what the boss says you've got to do. So I think we've got planned maybe 1 or 2 fights now for next year. Definitely Feb, and I think maybe June, July. Maybe June, July in South Africa against Izzy. And then after that, I mean, then Dricus has really shown that there's nobody else to beat in the middleweight, and then we'll do the one division up against Alec. But if he wants to come down, I would definitely do that. But I would like to have in that same contract that we would want to fight him then, not a rematch in the middleweight division, but fight him then at light heavy. So if we fight Alec in middleweight, it's going to be middleweight and light heavy, or we're going to move up to light heavy.
Well, that's very admirable, man, because Alex, he's a bigger challenge at light heavyweight. How do you sort of assess him as a challenge for you guys and Dricus? Obviously, his striking is incredible. He's a huge star, but, a lot of people are pointing to the fact that he's got, some holes in his game. Although it looks like he's really worked on those holes with Glover Teixeira recently. We're hearing he's really improved a lot in the grappling. So
with wrestling and grappling, same as stand-up, I mean, it's not something you can fix within 6 months or a year. When you're under pressure, your subconscious mind puts you back in what you know. And he knows kind of nothing when it comes to the wrestling and the grappling area. And that's not where we want to fight him. We want to fight him where he's good at. Dricus won't be interested in fighting him on the floor. We would want to fight him in stand-up. And in his stand-up game, there's a lot of flaws. I mean, I've seen him, he hates going backwards. He hates it. He hates it when you give him punishment. He hates it when you're in control of the fight. And that's the way Dricus fights. He doesn't want to fight. It's not going to be, we're going to be on our back foot and give him his way. That's the only time that is good. I've seen him on his back foot where he's really, really shit. So, and like I said, I mean, you can't, this game, Dricus has been working at it forever. I mean, there's no way you can fix becoming a wrestler or a grappler or a stand-up fighter within 6 months or a year. It doesn't exist. It doesn't happen like that. Otherwise, everybody would have been MMA fighters. So it's a process, a very, very, very long and lengthy process. And think about what I'm saying now. There's like, we've got six days to train. One day you do boxing, one day you do Muay Thai K1, one day you do wrestling, Greco, freestyle, whatever. One day you do dirty boxing on the floor against the wall. One day you do grappling, and then one day we do sparring where we throw everything in. And that's exclusive of the fitness and conditioning sessions. So there's only 4 weeks in a month. So if you only do 4 grappling sessions a month, I mean, you still got to focus on your fitness and conditioning and your strength and all of that. So you can only grapple so many times. So you can only wrestle so many times a month. So if you grapple 4 times a month, 6 times a month, 8 times a month, if you double your numbers up, or wrestle, I mean, you really won't become, we've seen it with all these guys. All of them, look at what the last fight at the Sphere, who was it?
The Merab Sean, was it?
Merab. I mean, what did he just wrestled? His stand-up was absolutely nowhere. And let me tell you something, it's going to be nowhere for a very long time. His stand-up was nowhere. He had to shoot, had to take down, he had to wrestle and grapple. And O'Malley was by far the more superior striker, by far. But O'Malley also had a flaw in his wrestling and his grappling. So and those guys are at the top of the sport at the highest level. Now you get those guys. Morab's supposed to be, he's the champion. Man, that guy won't last. If it goes to stand up, he won't last half a round against Sean when it comes to stand up. So it's not easy to fix flaws. And that goes the same thing for Alec. I mean, it's not that easy. He's a stand-up fighter, he's a K1 fighter. He's been one forever. He's been a big unit coming forward forever. And that's where you've got to stop him coming forward. And I've seen him looking very, very shit on his back foot.
Fellas, do you want your grooming routine to be a one and done deal? Well, the days of using the same trimmer for your face and your private parts are over. Thanks to our friends at MANSCAPED. They're coming up with the ultimate package to keep your hairs trimmed from 12 to 6. Introducing the Beard Balls bundle featuring the Lawnmower 5.0 and the Beard Hedger trimmer for the moneymaker, and another one for the boys downstairs. Get 20% off and free shipping now with the code word submission at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code word submission at manscaped.com. And fellas, real talk. I'm about to talk to you out there, the guys that are about to go on their dates, or the guys that are about to go in the gym, or the guys that are about to just go into work or do whatever life things you need to do. There are certain things you need to do to take care of yourself. Manscaped has you sorted, if you know what I mean. With the 20% off with the code word submission and free shipping today, the Ball and Beard bundle will make sure that you accomplish whatever it is you're trying to do out there. What about NordVPN? It is the ultimate VPN out there. To get the best discount off your NordVPN plan, you can go to nordvpn.com/submission. Now, our link will give you an extra 4 months on the 2-year plan. That's right, an extra 4 months. And there's absolutely no risk with the Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. The link is down below, or of course you go to nordvpn.com/submission. What about NordVPN? You can watch your sporting events, TV shows, films which aren't available by your region by switching your virtual location. You can protect your private data like bank details, passwords, and online identity. You can switch your location anywhere to save money by purchasing cheaper flights, hotels, subscriptions. And what about the threat protection feature that protects you from viruses, malicious malware, and phishing sites? It's the fastest VPN in the world with no buffering or lagging. Premium cybersecurity for the price of a cup of coffee per month. And one NordVPN account can be used up to 10 devices. That's right, 10 devices. Go to nordvpn.com/submission now. Get the deal. Try it risk-free. It's one of the best apps in the game as well. nordvpn.com/submission. Support the show so we can provide more interviews for you throughout the next few months with nordvpn.com and Manscaped now. Now back to the program. Does Dricus look like a 205?
You know, we obviously do quite a decent cut. And all the guys in the weight division who we handled complained about his power and how physical and strong he is. He's actually a genuine light heavy. And never a heavy. I mean, Alec can always go up to heavyweight. We will never even attempt to do that. I mean, have you seen the size of Sean Aspinall? He's if you compare Sean against Alec, Sean is. I mean, if Alex fight Aspinall, I think Aspinall will knock him out in the first round. That's a genuine heavyweight. Alec is in between. Dricus is more light heavy than he's a middleweight. So we work hard to keep his weight down, and we work very hard on his diets and his, and then obviously we do it quite a decent cut. So it's not easy, but it will be very easy for us. And Dricus will have fun because we all like eating, and I'm taking that away from Dricus daily, because he's a professional fighter in the middleweight division. I promise you, he'll be a different animal at light heavy. So we've got work to do in the middleweight division. And then we would obviously, I mean, like I said, we are employees of the UFC. So if Dana wants us and Hunter wants us to stay longer at middleweight, that's what we'll do. But eventually we would like to move up to light heavy or in between the two weights. Dricus is capable of doing both.
Well, man, I'm very excited. I feel like there's a lot of big fights. And I'm most excited about the fact is that you're going to be coming back to Sydney in February. So we get to see you in person once again. One of the most underrated coaches in the game. Thank you so much for your time, man. Of course, everybody can follow you on socials. And of course, the gym at CIT_performance. Make sure you keep an eye on all the guys coming out of the gym. Coach Morne, thank you so much for your time, man.
Thanks, guys. See you in February. Then we can have a beer together.
Can't wait, man. Thank you so much, Morne. I really appreciate it, dude. I know how busy you are, and it means a lot to me. I hope I actually see you in February.
Cool. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.